know what he expects from me, and I know what to expect from him, and that's just the best part about it.
Is there anything you've had to, like, something that he said or done where you're just like telling other linebackers, like, nah, he's just like that, like he just...
Yeah, so he has this thing, it's his saying, like it's his hashtag, it's anytime you hear that came from D-Nick, he likes to say, come on with it, and that's like, that can be we're getting started, that can be we're finishing, that could be I'm getting on you, that could be good job. You just gotta judge how he says it to kind of know what it means in that moment.
I'll have to ask you about that later.
Yeah.
And speaking of things, I gotta ask. So I remember when you transferred, I saw in your Louisville bio, it said you're terrified of butterflies. Is that true?
I gotta be honest with you, man. I did tell Coach D-Nick and Coach Cristobal, butterfly flies over the middle of the game while we're playing, we're gonna play with 10. I'm terrified, man. They make my skin crawl.
Really?
Like, I don't know. If it's me and my teammates and a bear, I'll go to war with them. But if it's a butterfly, they better leave when I leave.
Is there something did something happen or just gross?
I don't, it's just, that's what it is, man. I just terrified of them.
Okay. I just remember reading like your bio and I was like, wait a second, am I reading that right?
Yeah, man. And people don't believe it because, you know, I done gained a little size, pretty strong in the weight room. I am terrified. They just do something to me.
Everyone's got their things. My dad is terrified of mustard. Don't know why, it just is.
Mustard?
Hates it.
Oh,
won't
wow.
touch a bottle. Like, he will not touch the bottle.
Wow.
But everyone has their thing, so it's nice to meet you, man.
Yes, sir.
Good luck this fall.
Nice to meet you.
I'm going to get a quick picture. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Everything you've been through throughout your career, you feel like this is a good time? You feel like this is a time for you to essentially more playing time, bigger role, the whole thing? You kind of feel like you're essentially ready for something big?
Yes, sir. The biggest thing for me that I feel that I bring to this team would be experience. I've been through plays, like some things you have to experience to know how to adjust to, and that's what I feel I bring to the team.
You touched on Coach Nicholson. Essentially, what have you learned with him? Essentially, what are his must-haves for a linebacker? You've got to do this right. Essentially, you got to do this to get on the field, to play. What have you learned about him that's really important for the transition?
Well, when talking about Coach D-Nick, I have to give him the credit. You know, I went to a JUCO and I was with him at Louisville, and I can truly say Coach D-Nick taught me football. Like, all he requires is that you give 100%. That's the only thing he's not gonna back down from. There will be no disagreements or agreements. There will be none of that. If you can't give 100%, he's not gonna fool with it. But your effort is something that you can control, and that's how he feels about it. So once you give him and you show him that you're all in, there's nothing he won't do for you.
What's kind of your approach going into fall practices? I mean, you get here, and I know you're making an impact over the summer, but just from practices start to essentially win a job, what's kind of your mentality going into fall camp? You've obviously been through other fall camps.
The biggest thing for me is I want to focus on the details, because everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. It's just about how you handle your 24 hours differently from the next man. So in order for me to win the job or compete against such and such or compete against anybody, it's going to be about the details.
Knowing this conference, the way you do, what do you say about maybe the other competition and essentially what it's going to take for Miami for you guys to, kind of be towards the top?
Yes, sir. Like I said, I got here in summer B, so the biggest thing I see with this team is that we're willing to work, and that's all you can ask for any team. So judging by our work ethic, I don't think there's anybody that we cannot compete with, and that's all you can ask for.
Any ideas what facing Louisville will be like? I know you got months to think about it, but any ideas what that game might be like?
If I'm being honest with you, man, I'm focused on Miami, Ohio. That's the first game. I want to get that win, or we want to go compete, and we'll go from there.
Special teams for you, the role that you've had, talking to other people, it seems like you really took a lot of pride in that. Can you talk about your mentality with that and that role that you've had in the past, and maybe why it's important to be good on special teams?
I feel like special teams is how you win the game, but nobody sees that. Like, nobody knows if we punt the ball and we pin them in, then our defense goes and does good. People see the defense, but they don't see that we tackle them on the 1 yard line. So for me, special teams is how you get ahead in the hitting yardage. And I think it's very important. So if coach allows me to, which I really do think he will, I'm going to do everything in my power to help us win, whether it be on special teams or defense, or even if I have to be a water boy, I'm going to do the best that I can to help us win.
Did you do all 4?
Yes, sir.
Had you been doing all 4?
Yes, sir.
For how many years have you been a part of?
Since I've been in college.
The tiny one?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes, sir.